We've got balls.
Frank Boley Dancewicz made his way to South Bend, Indiana by way of Lynn, Massachusetts to play for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in 1942. He joined the varsity team as a sophomore the following season, which was led by 1943 Heisman Trophy winner and fellow top overall pick Angelo Bertelli. That season, the Irish went 9-1 and took home the national title despite losing their final game of the season to unranked Great Lakes Navy. Dancewicz, however, had a relatively minimal role as a member of the national champs roster. The next year, however, was a different story, and Dancewicz took over as the team's starting QB and gained over 1,000 yards passing on the way to an 8-2 record and a top 10 finish, with their only losses coming to 6th-ranked Navy and top-ranked Army in back-to-back weeks. In his final season in South Bend, Dancewicz led the Irish to another top 10 finish with a record of 7-2-1, with their only losses coming once again to top-ranked Army and Great Lakes Navy, with the tie coming against Navy. Yeah, because those service academies sure can be a pain. And Dancewicz's first performance finished 6th in Heisman voting with 101 total points. The team drafting first overall was no stranger to having the top pick, nor were they strangers to selecting members of Notre Dame's backfield, as the Boston Yanks took Dancewicz's former teammate Angelo Bertelli with the top spot 2 years prior. It was a tumultuous 1945 season for the Yanks, as due to the war they had agreed to briefly merge with the Brooklyn Tigers. The two franchises split their time between Boston and New York per their agreement and were simply known as the Yanks. They ended their season with a record of 3-6-1 and finished third in the East. However, following the end of the season, things for the merged franchise became dicey as Tigers owner Dan Topping wanted to take his franchise from the NFL to the newly formed AAFC. The NFL declared the Brooklyn franchise forfeited and granted the rights of each of their players to the now solo Boston Yanks franchise. Unfortunately for them, the vast majority of the Tigers players decided to make the jump to the AAFC with their original franchise, leaving the Yanks with about half their roster. As a rookie, Dancewicz had a small role in the Yanks offense, gaining only about 250 total yards and scoring a single touchdown. Meanwhile, Boston finished with a record of 2-8-1 and the second worst point differential in the league. In year 2, Dancewicz took the lead role at quarterback, passing for over 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns, along with 18 interceptions. He was also their second leading rusher with 145 yards. The Yanks also improved to 4-7-1 and finished third in the East, but as far as negatives go, the Yanks finished last in both points scored and total offense. In 1948, Dancewicz appeared in just 3 games, getting a total of 186 passing yards while failing to throw a single touchdown pass. Dancewicz retired at the end of the 1948 season and passed away in 1985 at the age of 60. As for the Yanks, owner Ted Collins wanted to move to New York, so he folded the Boston franchise as a tax write-off in order to form the Yanks' spiritual successor, the New York Bulldogs, who initially played at the Polo Grounds before changing their name back to the Yanks and moving to Yankee Stadium for the next 2 seasons. The team was then sold to a group in Dallas to form the Dallas Texans for 1 season before folding the franchise for good. The remaining parts of the franchise were then awarded to the Baltimore Colts. However, the Colts do not recognize the Yanks or any other related entity as their predecessor.